Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I have to say, I was really looking forward to connecting with y'all this evening. It's something really nice of having some consistency in the midst of all the chaos, of all that is moving through right now, to be able to know that every Monday I get to sit and connect with you. And if you're watching this on the replay, honor some time to as well. Let yourself get comfy. Let yourself take a moment, and you don't have to sit at the desk like I am. You can relax on the couch, on your bed, whatever you need to. Have some water by you, and even a notebook if you wish and if you so choose. And once you get comfortable, just to bring your hand to your heart so that you have a tactile connection to it. You can even give it a little rub if you so choose, or a little tap, or even just rest your palm towards your heart. The beauty, as we find within meditation and within slowing down our awareness, is that whatever you place your attention to is what gets amplified. So, by you first connecting to your heart, even just by a gentle touch, it's bringing all of your focus and awareness there. And you can allow some deep breaths, allowing your breath to slow down, even if it is at a very quick pace at the beginning. Slowing down and connecting to your center. With the main focus of just saying, hi, heart, how are you right now? How is my connection to you? And welcoming each breath, going, yes, this is a time where I can breathe. And after those initial breaths and that initial connection to your heart, know that at any time during this recording, you're welcome to always come back here to remind yourself that this is where we're always going, is to the heart, and by slowing down the breath. Welcome. If you are new to my channel, I am Josie. I work with energy. And I share energy medicine as well as journeys through self, relations, and also in developing your gifts. This is an interesting Monday to record for. I actually will be online tomorrow as well for my regularly scheduled new moon oracle. So not to worry, I will leave all the deep new moon chat to tomorrow. And today, I wish to also, if you have any things that have come up within your personal practice this week, any challenges, any difficulties, any questions about things that showed up, you're welcome to always write down in the live chat if you're here live, or even in the comments after the live has been recorded. and I will do my best to answer them all if I can. How has your practice been? A daily practice is something a little different than what else we tend to do daily, like brushing our teeth or showering or putting clothes on, the things that you just know you must do to function. And the daily practice, specifically in meditation, and all that can be explored in meditation, because what you're doing when you close your eyes is you're exploring all the inner workings of your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. That's a lot. And it's neat. I was actually listening recently to this one, I guess, meditation or spiritual teacher from a Southeast Asian lineage who speaks a lot on the Bhagavad Gita and Dhyan, like all the Sanskrit words around meditation. And he was sharing of how he actually doesn't ever give meditation tips because then what we tend to naturally do is when you get tips, since our mind, right, if we're receiving them and writing them down, little lists and to do things or things to do and things not to do, in your internal practice, we then bring a lot of effort to it. We bring a lot of force to it, that type of like, I'm meditating good. I'm doing it perfectly and I'm going to follow exactly that. And that actually is not giving the space required for the practice. So think of these, instead of this being like tips prior to us sitting and meditating, right? It's more so on answering and conversing about what you experience within your personal practice. This can be a ground where we can share those experiences and learn from them. For it as well, in receiving tips or in receiving right, wrong type of thing, right, wrong feeds the left and right brain, right, our polarizing, wondrous brain that it is. And a lot of times when we go into meditation, you think that that's what you're doing. You think that you're just going into the mind and then like getting a little vacuum cleaner and scouring it and clearing it and doing all that. But the way that we clear the mind is by actually stepping a little away from it. We work on bringing some distance between the mind and our spirit. And you'll be like, what does that mean? I'm super present. I'm super there in meditation. But you're there, but you're observing. You're being able to kind of step a little farther back from the workings of the mind that might keep you going, and following, all that's coming through in your work, in your daily things, right? All the do. You can step a little away from it so you can start to observe what's coming up in the mind without it taking the reins. So in that distance, that's why we began by connecting to the heart and connecting to the breath. You connect to that truest or most central part of you, that essence that that you trust is, be it the inner flame, be it that it is the divine, however you connect to that center of you. And then in that connection, that's where you can access now, where you can access presence. And then from that presence, you connect to the part of you that can then step a little away from the workings of the mind as well as step a little away from the movements of emotions, which we spoke a bit about last week in Meditation Mondays, which was stepping a bit away from the pain and pleasure responses of the body so that you could kind of just go, that sensation. Can I breathe with the sensation that's coming up without allowing it to kind of like latch onto me and go, this is pain or this is pleasure? And in that little distance, we can then work with the breath and practice just in that observation, witness the most beautiful thing of how those thoughts and those emotions can begin to unravel. Those things that have kept you up at night, those things that keep coming up again and again within a day. So, in now knowing that it's a distance that you are seeking somewhat, for lack of better language. English language is really funny. There's in many different languages, specifically ancient languages, they have many more words to describe inner world and the inner work that we do. But in English, it's pretty, they don't have as many words. So sometimes it's hard to find the right one. So bear with me at times. I also want to check in because, there is a lot of conversation about moving more into being state, moving into more that yin state or that feminine state or that lunar energy, in opposition to the yang state or the masculine state or the solar energy. And of course, the beauty, it's not that the feminine energy or the lunar energy is rising so that it can trump the other. Absolutely not. It is rising to bring balance to both so that both can start to move in a more easeful manner. And with that, how that relates to our practice is of course, we step into a being state when we are practicing, but there is also some structure. And sometimes if you are highly intuitive, highly empathic, highly emotional, highly connected to the feminine and lunar energies, then the being state might be like, yeah, this is it. I'm just going to go with the flow, and that might feel like it's the answer. But of course, then at any place where we tend to kind of weave towards or move towards, we are trying to discover more of a harmony between the two. And we know that a balance is not necessarily 50-50. It depends on what's moving through your body and moving through your energy system. So with that being said, I'm intrigued to hear from you as well. What may you find can be a harmonic structure, a harmonic protocol, for lack of better words, to bring you into more of a state of union within, to acknowledge both the solar and the lunar energies within you, which will allow you to, outside of your meditation practice, bring that type of union into other actions as well as other non-actions. You're welcome to share anything if you so choose. And if not, I will just continue to chat from what comes through. The solar energies tend to sometimes get caught, or we tend to force them when we're doing that type of force that I spoke of earlier, going, I'm going to do this, da 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 da, like thinking it's all and only you is doing the do. Then that might come into what we know as our solar plexus area. And so you might feel kind of like tingles or an intensity or even almost a nodding effect that is around that central area, just like above the belly button. And so in that intensity, that might intensify your breath and intensify actually the amount of force and work that you have to do. I love how even, as you can see, the alarm's going, yes, force around me. So, and as we know, we are wishing for more harmony and less force, less trying to work with the solar and lunar energies and force them into balance, but allow them to flow into harmony. There's a difference. So in the meditation this evening, we will access these solar and lunar energies, right? So you can start to sense the different sensations, within the feeling physical body, so that you can kind of go, that's that, when it does occur, as well as what may also arise within the mind when you receive and connect more so to these two energies that love to dance together, but also that love to sometimes become more than the other. So instead of focusing on the solar being in a specific point, we start to access the solar energy as the entire line that we open to from the crown towards the root. We allow this kind of line of energy, this directional energy, which really is what solar energy is, or what masculine energy is. It's a directional energy, right? As we can see when you light a flame or when something sparks. And then the feminine energy, or more lunar energy, works more in kind of like a war type of toroidal effect. And so that is what is moving around that line, through that line, and around your whole body. And so the work with the feminine is to learn how to bring it into connection with that solar energy, as well as to allow it to move with more ease and less chaos. Vibrational energy, which is similar to the toroidal, that might be another term you have heard. Vibrational energy is the feminine energy. And so sometimes when you're like, chaos, how could that be, right? It's now, if you think of it as vibratory, right, then you can understand that a vibration sometimes could feel like too much and bring you out of a state of now, a state of presence, and bring you into other states, be it anxiety, be it fill in the blank. And then that directional force, that solar energy, that masculine energy, can feel more like, if you're thinking vibrational for the feminine, then the solar masculine energy, once accessed within the body, it feels like a very clear path. But sometimes, again, instead of clear path, it might feel like a forceful path, depending on the intensity of the direction, the force of the actual energy. So in knowing that, within your meditation practice, when you connect to something that feels more forceful or more direct in the energy, know that you are the one that is witnessing and observing the experience. And in observation, right, in observing what is moving through, we have choice. We have choice to either allow it, to allow it to overcome us and take over our actual experience, or again, to learn how to kind of go, too much, okay, that's okay. And how do we control the experience in that way? How do we make choices? Is by how we breathe. So you might find sometimes that if your breath starts to quicken or intensify, right? And you're getting really kind of like up into the chest with a tightening of the belly, to kind of carry and hold the forceful or more directional energy, then the practice is realizing that and going, do I wish for this to be? Is this presence feel in harmony? Do I feel at peace? Do I feel at ease? Or how can I shift my breath to accommodate? And if my breathing cannot accommodate, that I can ask for the solar energy to tone down. This is something that, and I know this might be moving a little bit deeper into meditation practice, but I do truly believe that many of you who listen to my channel are not beginners. So I always honor and trust what is coming through in connection, and what I meant to share. So in knowing that is a deeper awareness, that then also highlights how when many meditate, you may actually connect to spirit. Spirit, that is, of course, we connect to our spirit, and then you may connect to what is part of your spirit, what your spirit encompasses, right? What your spirit has connection to. And that may be sometimes what has been discussed as spirit guides, right? That you sometimes feel that you're receiving energy or guidance from a spirit that is not you. Or it even may be from more ascended beings, meaning beings that may not have been ever in physical form, that might also be described as star teachers, beings of the stars, as well as angels. Or ascended teachers. So in knowing that, right, there tends to always be a lot of excitement around that, because we're like, oh, amazing. We're getting and accessing help. We're accessing someone else or another spirit to assist us and to share something with us, right? And so then what happens, again, as you receive that directional force, that energy that may be more solar, right? More directional, coming from above as well, it may feel, then you may relinquish all control, kind of be like, I'm here, go for it. And then again, get into a really intense experience that you may not be ready for. So when I share that your breathing, okay, you can first check to see if your breathing cannot accommodate the energy that you're experiencing within your closed eye practice. And then knowing that, be it from spirit, be it from your spirit, be it from whatever loving beings you are connecting to, that you always have the choice to say no. And that it's not, and it is not saying that you do not want to communicate with them ever, or that you're, oh, I'm not ready, I suck, all of that type of BS. It is simply sharing that you are choosing always presence. You are choosing always the harmony that it is within presence. And if your experience, be it with very high frequency or expanded vibratory sensations in your practice, feel like too much, you have the opportunity to say no. It does not mean that maybe tomorrow your body and your spirit and your soul will be ready and prepared for it. It may be next week. It may be in a month. But the beauty of the journey is that it doesn't matter exactly on what date it is received, because as soon as it's received, it also must be acclimated and understood within your whole being, which includes the physical body as well as soul and spirit. Hence, why practice is daily. Because then you don't have as much of, that fear of missing out that our society kind of really goes into, right? This intensity of going, oh, it's intense. I must, it's here now. I must say yes. I must allow. It only to always know that whatever you allow and whatever you say yes or no to in your inwards journey, in your deeper connection to all that you are and all that you are now, is always your choice. And so, in speaking of that, the solar axis of intense energies and frequencies, let's talk about the other type of vibrational, the feminine, right? The feminine energy that can connect us to, well, you can connect to it within the vibrations of the earth. You can connect to it, and of course, the earth, the vibrations of the earth, all that has been assimilated, be it fossilized or decomposed into the land and the waters themselves, are ancestral, can also be very ancient from very, very, very long times ago, and bring immense wisdom and immense knowing into your being and into your present experience. You can connect as well to your protectors, the guardians, and all of that wondrous connection of also beings that may have been in human form and that choose to stay closer towards more vibrational sharing of energy. So then, in knowing that, it now almost expands the awareness of just, what sometimes you might see like in, the Google like meditation energy centers, right? And you'll see that body with like the glowing orbs of the different energy centers, and with maybe the line in the center with like the two swirly lines, right, around that center. And the beauty of our practice is that, of course, we see that might just be like the base. That's the 101. That's the guideline for you to start to understand that there's more than one experience to be had and to be felt. And as you continue your practice, that starts to become way less that two-dimensional, exploration of colors that are on the body, or even three-dimensional. It starts to fractalize almost. So as you see, the beauty also of the practice is that it will continue to expand as well as continue to simplify. Our mind has a really big issue with simplicity to begin with, because it likes to choose, right? It likes to also have like a right, wrong, the opposites. That's how it works. We're in a polarized earth, right? Even looking at the globe itself, there's the north and the south, and the east and the west. There's difference in how we can categorize things. And I remember when I first started on this path and sharing more of these journeys and energy medicine, I got a very actually clear directive to amplify the categorization, if that makes sense. So that was the introduction, was to first appease the mind by giving it a lot to comprehend, to break apart all that is self into maybe 5 categories. And that's also when you hear of dimensions of energy, or layers of energy, or levels, then that is similarly a way of categorizing for our mind the expansiveness and the allness of an experience. And that worked for a good bit. Oh, glad that you were able to connect. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your chat. Sezra, nice to meet you. And then it was neat though, because so went deep into the categorizing and like breaking apart things and really dismantling a lot of the stuff that has been in our minds for a very long time, even before we were born, for generations and generations. And then the directive shifted in 2021, which I was quite surprised. They're like, return to center. Speak now of the allness. Speak now of the simplicity. That's going to be, pardon my French, I don't know if you can swear here, the mind fuck. That's going to be the thing now that starts to dismantle the other things within, is to share how things can be both and. So I'm encouraged to see in that what may come through within your practice this week, to accommodate and to witness. It's not about, going, I'm not going to be forceful, I'm not going to be tough, and I'm not going to do things, because then that mind is still leading the ride. And so I'm not, or I'm going to connect to this, I'm going to receive this information, be it on either or, that when you start to see your mind do that within your practice, it's not about then going like smacking your mind and going, get the hell out of here. It's more so about going, okay, I see what my mind's doing right now. I see how it's trying to make an inner understand, to comprehend what's going on. Because in a centered state, in an allness state, the mind doesn't really have anything to do. And the ego sure as hell has nothing to do. So that can be a very discombobulating and disconcerting space or presence or state of being, that's the word, for the mind or the ego. And so it's not about smacking them and thinking that they're not meant to be there. It's about then just going, I'm starting to even observe when the ego or my mind kind of try to step in and make this more complicated than it needs to be. And then the practice will go, can I come back to my breath? Can I find my presence once again? Can I find some equilibrium? And usually the easiest way within your practice to return to a state of harmony or to remember the state of presence is to bring your awareness back to your center, back to your heart. So that when the fluctuations, be it of the lunar, the solar, the feminine, the masculine, kind of throw your mind into play or throw your emotions into play, going, this is all about me now. That you can go, okay, I see you. And I'm not trying to eradicate you. I'm not trying to get rid of you. You're part of me. I love you. If I love me, I'm going to love all parts of myself. So I will see, though, how I can be witnessing sometimes that chaos, sometimes that intensity. And then the beautiful thing about returning to center, coming back to that state of presence, is that you can then also witness how the mind will, over time and space, clear, and how the emotions over time and space will move. And as they move from you to the earth. And so then they clear as well. And so then, as the fluctuations of the emotions and the mind start to not be the most intense part of the experience, because sometimes, and there's those days when you're just sitting with the emotions and just sitting with the with the thoughts, and you're just watching them go boop, 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 and going, I'm still here. When will this go? You know, that when the clearings occurs, be it within a day, be it with it becoming an easier thing over time, that's when you can then be in presence in the clear state or the clear form of the feminine energy or lunar energy and the masculine energy or solar energy. So then you are not moving through the intensities or that you have learned over time to then feel the immense harmony, the immense, dare I say, bliss that can then occur within a state of that being. And if you do get to that point in your meditation, it's not then to go, yay, I'm here. Now let's like manifest and start creating and putting more thoughts in there, right? Which is sometimes what we will naturally kind of go, oh, wait, mind, like thoughts and feelings are clear. That's like what we need to do. We then have like a clear vibration and we have a clear direction. And so we might as well now put something in there. And you can try it. But what I can share, and this is simply from my experience, is that instead of then kind of waiting on the sidelines, right? Because there's a waiting then. There's a waiting to kind of like throw the bait in, to throw, I want this, or I'm going to create this as soon as you really get that, which is again, preparing for an outcome. And in being state, in the now state, we actually have access to all that is present and all that is future. We have now state encompasses all time cycles. So by throwing something in there, you may then move back into other time cycles, right? And require doing the processing around, be it even a simple word, or be it a simple thing that comes up around the worthiness that you might feel subconsciously, even around what you've asked for. So what I would share instead is to enjoy that state, to enjoy that clear state, to witness your divine and pure and clear state that you have accessed, and allow that to simply be. And then when you start to ground, when you start to come out of meditation, because if we fly and if we soar into those very powerful allness states, know that your meditation practice will require some grounding when you get back into awareness. Okay. And so, and whatever that grounding might be, and sometimes you'll see in my guided meditations, I'll be like, start to even just press your fingers or move your spine a bit, or like wiggle your toes, stretch. You can even start to do any type of movements to get yourself back into the body. If that isn't enough, a really, really easy grounding practice that actually I learned from my familiar Paco, my lovely dog protector and meditation traveler with me, is to just go completely on the ground. And so if even moving your body, you still kind of feel a little out of it, then to just actually go completely on the ground. And you can either lie on the ground fully on your back or even on your belly, whatever feels right. And it becomes almost a moment of giving gratitude for your body and its connection to the earth. And the earth will always bring us back, right? It will always bring us back to our connection that is now, that is here, that is within this beautiful world that we are in, even as crazy as it might sometimes feel. And so just like how sometimes if you do meditations in nature and connecting to nature, if you've ever placed your hands on the earth and not looked at the earth, right, but just closed your eyes and started to breathe with the earth, you might start to feel the actual response of the land itself breathing with you. And so it's a similar thing like that if moving your body on its own is not allowing you to ground and fully come back from your meditative, clear, pure vibrational experience, it's to then lie on the ground and to feel like your whole body is like what your hands were doing, so that your whole body is breathing with the ground. And that can be done, of course, outside. But if you don't have, I'm like in rainy season right now where I live, so it wouldn't be as fun to lie on a muddy ground. You can absolutely do that just lying on the ground, like in your floor of where you live. And then once you have completed your grounding, That is the time. That is the time to sing. That is the time to bring out those things that you wish to create. That is the time that you can then bring from that clear state in thought and feeling, that clear state of being, that clear harmonic place of your entire presence and essence. I create blah, blah, blah. You can start to say it out loud. You can even sing it. Make a little tune. And that's the time to add manifestation or creation work. I tend to use, I'm saying both, just because I haven't spoken as much about creation work here yet. I tend to use more creation work or creation as the term of how you create things within your life or create circumstances and welcome things in to receive instead of manifestation. Because the word manifest even carries that it requires a lot of action or intensity. And really, the only action that it requires is that pure force, which comes out as your intention, the intention behind it. And the intention, it's not that you're like, I'm intending for this. It's not the intention is coming out of meditation is already there, because the intention is always for the good of all and one, for the good of you and me, for the good that is not just of self-benefit. I'm creating something that will be for the good of all. And so the intention is very clear if you are sitting and breathing and being in harmony, in that harmony state, then it's not like you have to do it. You're already in intention, if that makes sense. And the feeling, right? Like you don't need to then pretend to feel anything. Like I feel good about this, or I feel great about this. It's not about then coaxing the feeling, because the feeling, the clear vibration that comes once processing the feelings in meditation is all you need. So you can look as your practice is the prep ground for what you may have heard about thoughts and feelings assisting in creation. And then, so when you have grounded and stepped out of your meditation practice, all you need to do is sing. Abracadabra. I create as I speak. That's the last little bit. That's the doing that will come after practice. So if you need some time to sit with all that, you're welcome to. If you have any questions that have come up from what I have shared tonight, you're also welcome to share them in the chat group. Or, as I said, if they form at another time in the week, you're welcome to just share them in the comments below at another time. But I feel it's time to do the practice. And so excited. This is where we went. Yay. So the intention of this practice and the meditation that I will share tonight in guiding you through is to start to access and sense these two energies, lunar, solar, masculine, feminine, feeling, thought, to witness those, and then to see as they clear, to not then do anything else, but just to be, and to be in that state. And then I will slowly guide you out of it so that you can ground. And if you need more time in grounding, you're welcome to even do so on your own once this video is complete. And then the next step this evening would be to simply put something out in voice, to share what you wish to create this week. So I'm going to have a little sip of water. You're welcome to as well, and always thank the water. It's a lovely conduit to assist energy in moving through us. You're welcome to do this meditation seated in a chair, on the couch, on your bed, even lying on your bed. Closing your eyes when you are ready. And just checking in to see that your body doesn't feel like it's holding itself. So sometimes how we place our arms might need to shift so you can feel that they just kind of dangle easily. Your palms can face up. You can even rest on your thighs if you're seated. We tend to, at times, if you're seated, kind of sit forwards. So just do a little gentle rocking back and forth until you find a spot where even the muscles in your legs somewhat relax. Your joints feel some ease. And your spine feels supported. Slowing down your breath. Welcome always to do some deep belly breaths at the beginning. And to even work on retaining the breath between, just to start the focus, to start accessing that awareness, that observer. So you can breathe into your belly and counting to 3, holding the breath, and then exhaling for 3, holding the breath, inhaling for 3, holding the breath, and then exhaling for 3. Doing this rhythm until you become more aware of your heart center. It may bring up pain or pleasure within the heart, which your mind may then chime in to thoughts, memories. So just observing how are you slowing down the breath and connecting to your heart. You are welcoming all sensation, and you are welcoming all movements within your mind, all thoughts. But your breath is what is sharing some distance between those sensations and thoughts and your presence. So you can observe what comes in and observe even what starts to dissipate. allowing the sensations that may even be outside of the heart, that may show up in other areas of your being. Welcoming them. And observing if your mind tries to say what they are. And instead of needing to analyze those sensations, just observe them. Observe how they move as you breathe. Observe how they intensify as you may bring focus to them. Observe how they may expand. Observing how, over time, as feeling and sensation moves, to welcome the movement, to welcome the release, and to welcome what stays. Feeling all that is moving has a destination to and from your center, to and from the heart. You may become aware of intensity of sensation within the mind. It might not even be attached to a thought. It is almost as if it is the gears within your mind that create thought. You're not knowing what to do. So welcoming those sensations, within the mind, as well as any thoughts that may create and step in. And just bringing always the direction of any sensations within the mind and within the thoughts, allowing them to flow to the heart. And then from the heart up even past your mind into the air. You may encounter some of that intensity as things start to clear, that part of your brow that furrows, and feeling it must search for something. And to allow you to even welcome that. And to bring your breath to the heart, and then from the heart. Welcoming whatever arises, as well as the space discovered in presence. Allowing your awareness of your energy to expand beyond your human form. And each time you expand, to observe whatever surfaces, be it in sensation or in thought. To slow your breath as you welcome it from your heart into your heart. If you wish to stay in this state for longer, you are welcome to stop listening and to ground later when you so choose. I'm guided to share a tone to amplify this state prior to us stepping back. Touch a finger to a finger. Bring some movement to your toes, your knees, your joints. To your spine. Allowing yourself to stretch, to connect to the delight that is your form, that is your body. Bring your hands to your face, to gently touch and connect to your eyes and your cheeks, your throat, your heart. Welcoming the clear path and the expanded vibration you may sense. Welcoming the connection to your center. As you gently open your eyes, welcome to continue the dance, the move, however you're so guided to. Even bringing some sound to the breath. You might even have already a song on your lips if you wish to sing it, if you wish to sound it. It may be words. If words are not here yet, trust the time it will take to ground, even after I leave you tonight. And then see what can create is coming from the heart and not needing to go right into the mind just yet. I create and welcome more safer and loving community. I am so grateful for our connection. I thank you and hope to see you again. You're welcome to subscribe. or tune in tomorrow for some oracle and insight with this moon cycle. Enjoy the creations and enjoy the harmony. Enjoy your practice. Much love.